Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Max and Trev here with our initial reaction to Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 2. What's going on, Trev?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, so this episode was awesome. I love this episode. I love like all the scenes and the character development that we got in this episode.
Good pacing.
Very good pacing. Very good writing. Before we get into it and break down every character, I have one gripe about this episode.
Are you going to go right to the end?
Just a quick gripe, we'll get back to that, but the battle scene, I thought was, I actually don't know what happened.
Dude.
You might have to fill me in.
It was black on black on black. How are they going to do it?
I just don't know what happened, but what I find hilarious is like 6 months ago, I broke down Game of Thrones and what directors were directing what episodes for Game of Thrones Season 7. And this Mark Mylod guy directed Season 6, Episode 8, No One. That's the one where Arya is getting chased by the fucking Terminator waif.
Yeah.
I thought that episode was poorly directed. It made me so angry. And then when I heard that he was back to direct Episode 2 and Episode 3, I flipped my shit in a video 6 months ago. And this guy to me has proven again that he cannot direct action at all.
Yeah, but it's a hard scene to do.
I know, but he had a chance with Arya in the chase scene. I feel like he didn't pull it off. And the battle scene here, I didn't like it. Like, he does extremes. Like, Euron's there screaming his ass off, and then you have the waif who gives, like, that weird smirk and look. You know what I mean? I just felt like his is so over the top, and the action was so shaky cam, and I didn't know what was happening.
They seem like total opposite things, too, if you really think about it. Like, open scene in the daytime, and then close, very close, in pitch darkness.
Yeah. This guy's proven he's equally shit at both. But moving on to pitch darkness, we start off with Daenerys staring at a storm, which I thought was this was a great scene.
Oh, it was good.
Unbelievable scene.
There's a lot of good things in this.
Well, yeah, tell me what your favorite part about it was.
What, my favorite part of the whole episode or this
No,
scene?
the episode. No.
What?
No, the scene.
Oh, man. Varys. By far.
Dude, I love it.
He's a master, and that's what goes back to like this like inkling in myself since this whole show started, is that he is the chess player.
And he laid down the law, and like what he said and he laid down the law, and he was like, "Oh yeah, shit, I totally get it." He's not the person who follows just blindly for a ruler. He's the person who fights for the people.
No, that's what I'm saying. He is the mover of the pieces on the entire Game of Thrones, and he just proved that. He's one of my favorite characters since day one. He's just so dope. It's like he's meta in all this. That's what I'm trying to say. He is a huge player, and I hope we don't lose him.
And I loved it because we finally got closure. Like, Daenerys called him on his shit. She's like, "Wait, what the fuck, man? Like, you tried to kill me.
Yeah.
You called the order," and they kind of wrapped that up and moved on from it. And he made a good point, but I love the way Daenerys ended it.
Yeah.
And she said, like, "Hey, if you think that I'm being cruel to the people at all, tell me first. Don't kill me, please." And I thought it ended in, like, a really good place.
Yeah, like, are they trying to show, like, she's a little bit paranoid now that she's kind of away from her home? Like, now that she's in Westeros, she's maybe feeling on edge because she has all these backstabbing people around her that backstabbed their way to get where they are now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, she's a very strong person and strong leader, but it's interesting that all these things are coming now that they've landed as opposed to before they even launched the ships.
That's a really good point, because she is having a lot of scenes with all of her members that are following her, like with Olenna.
Yeah, she wants to know
and she sits there wanting them to follow her and obey her, but she's being very intelligent in the sense where she's listening to her counsel more than ever.
Yeah.
And especially
because she's not at home anymore. She thinks this is her home because she came back to win it, but she's really never lived here before.
That's what I was going to say too,
so
is
she
that
feels vulnerable.
In the first scene, you see her comfort level. She's not comfortable
Zero.
in her home environment. And that really explains the last episode, is when she arrived at the shores, it wasn't like, "Oh my God, I'm home." She was very kind of like, very serious, very...
Oh my God, this is happening.
Yeah. But like, it's good because she doesn't feel comfortable in her own home. Even though she was born there and it's her ancestral home, she doesn't feel like she is at home. And that might be her struggle, is like, you know, maybe I belong in Marine. Maybe I belong in Essos.
Well, everyone's pulling her which way, saying, like, this is how you have to do it. This is what we want to do it. And she's not 100% certain. She seems like she's going to Tyrion for her plan and all this.
Yeah. And
so, it's interesting that Olenna came in with that last bit.
I know, be the dragon. And I love Tyrion because he's telling her not to be the dragon because it's bad for
bad PR.
You know, her reputation, it's
Yeah.
bad PR. You don't want to rule ashes. And he keeps, you know, her father keeps coming up and how cruel he was. And Tyrion's advice is so important because literally in this episode and last episode, we see her reputation. Everyone doesn't want to follow her because of her father. So it's important to change that reputation, which Tyrion understands. But Yara, Ilaria, and Olenna don't really grasp that concept. Well, it's not that they grasp it. They just have a different
murderous.
They have a different belief.
Yeah.
So that takes us to the planning scene, which I thought was awesome. And some stuff happened that I didn't expect. The fact that Tyrion plans to have Ilaria and Yara go straight to King's Landing in the capital to take it over.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they're going to King's Landing, just not the way Tyrion wanted.
Yeah. I'm like, that's what's so, it seems so sudden that it almost seemed a little bit planned.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost intentional. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
And
there's no way he would have known who he would have spared, but it's like almost intentional. Or not intentional, but still is going to work out. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. And his reasoning was interesting, that, like, he doesn't want... The people of Westeros won't rally behind outside forces.
Oh, definitely.
So they need the Dornish and the Flower people to go into King's Landing and take it over. But that's really going to put a ripple in the plan.
Yeah, see, like, that's what I mean. By the end of this episode, I wasn't sure if that plan has gone to shit. Like, it seems, maybe it was the director, but no, I just was like, okay, yeah, what happened. It didn't seem like all was lost. It almost seemed that Yara and Theon and what's her name are now put out.
Yeah.
Versus the whole fleet is destroyed.
Yeah.
Right? Am I wrong? Or did it seem like this fleet was destroyed?
It seemed like the fleet was pretty much done.
Like,
except for Theon, who made sure to save himself.
What? Yeah, I guess. They didn't really show how big the fleet was that was going there. But they were pressed for attack, so...
Yeah, but we know that they're going to attack Casterly Rock. We saw that in the trailer. We know that there's going to be something going on at Highgarden, which will, it will be interesting how they kind of adapt to this loss.
Yeah.
And moving on to the other side of the war, we get a little bit of Cersei, which I thought was awesome. Didn't expect her to go into kind of like the dungeons in King's Landing, and we see Balerion the Black Dread, which is a huge frickin' dragon, which is awesome because we get to see how big they get to grow.
Yeah.
Like, his jaw was, like, fucking huge.
Yeah. I think Daenerys' dragon looks about the same size in this season, though.
I don't think he's not that big.
I don't know. He looks pretty big in that when she's riding it.
Balerion the Black Dread's, like, the biggest dragon.
Yeah. He's a big boy.
But I wish I said something, but Qyburn's making weapons, which seems like the obvious thing. They need something to fight, and they need to rally people to fight for them. So it's like, hey, here, we can kill dragons with this bow and arrow.
That looks like straight off the Weta Works Lord of the Rings set, though. The Dragon Killer crossbow.
I think they might have taken a couple things off that.
I was just like, obviously, that would be the only thing that you would have against them.
Yeah.
Spears and crossbolts.
Yeah.
So I thought that would be the only thing that they'd have.
And they proved that at work because they shot it right through Balerion's eye.
Yeah.
And then
right through between the eyes.
Yeah, and then we get alliance building between Jaime and Randall Tarley.
Yeah.
And pretty much the whole scene summed up is that he promises him that he'll be Lord. They need a new Lord of the Reach, which I guess we saw coming.
Yeah, he's got to offer shit. He's got not. They don't have much.
Exactly. But then in Winterfell, there's discussions about alliance building.
Yeah.
So, how did you feel about this scene? Like, do you think Jon's right, or do you understand what Sansa's saying?
Well, I said half jokingly, like, you wouldn't go into this conversation without, like, throwing that by Sansa first, because you would want her support. So to show that, like, she keeps interjecting, and you can see
Littlefinger. Him.
Yeah, Littlefinger is soaking this up like a sponge. Like, he's gonna use all this against them.
Yeah.
So that's what's tricky about the scene for me. But I guess he has to have a purpose in it. But yeah, it's obviously it had to happen that way. But her undermining him is really getting on my nerves.
It pisses me off. And like, I get that's the issue with the relationship, is because Sansa's mad because Jon never talks to her, and I guess that further proved the point.
Yeah.
Is that he doesn't talk to Sansa, he just makes his decision. And And that I do appreciate Jon for that, because like in both episodes he's like, my decision's final. Like, this is it. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And that's what you need. But like every time Sansa, I don't know if it's just me or like I'm stupid too, but like I'm a diehard Jon fan. Everything that Sansa says, I disagree with.
Yeah.
Like, she's so reliant on history in the past. Like, it's like, oh, the Mad King's daughter. What? Like, she's gonna betray you. She burned our father. Well, burned our grandfather. Like, it's like, sometimes you have to forget.
Yeah.
To make new alliances. What does she expect? You're supposed to align with Cersei?
Well, Jon is the poster boy for forgive and forget and move on. Like,
yeah.
He let the wildlings sit south of the wall.
Yeah. I just don't... It's like, strategically, like, Sansa's grown up and knows all this political shit. I just, from her point of view, I don't get it. Like, well, they need Dragonglass. They need an ally. And, like, what does she plan? Does she want to ally herself with Cersei? Because it seems like Daenerys is on the winning side. She has 3 dragons. She has all this stuff. I understand it's bad morale and she has a bad reputation. But you got to do what you got to do.
I know. But if I'm seeing it from her perspective, only Jon has seen what's coming. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
To base everything on just Jon saying, yeah, there's some pretty bad dudes coming south.
Yeah. It's
like, it would be hard for her to do that.
Yeah.
And she doesn't understand that portion of it. All she wants is for her brother not to die like every one of her siblings has in the past. So she's playing on the rules that seem relevant in the situation she's in.
Yeah, and I agree. She does want the best for her brother. She didn't want him to leave because, you know, the king must stay in the north because winter is here.
Yeah.
But he's got to do what he's got to do, and she seemed to agree when he put her in charge.
Yeah.
So what is she going to do? Like, what could she possibly do? You know what I mean?
He's asking her to hold down the fort.
It's crazy.
But you know Littlefinger's going to get up in there.
That's what's weird about
Not in that way, but you know what I mean?
You said that a certain way. You conveyed a certain message.
I know, but he's going to be whispering over her shoulder constantly, wearing her down. I'm
just wondering what she's going to do. We know Bran is coming south, so Bran is well, he's not really walking wisdom, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's sliding wisdom. He may slide into Winterfell next episode. And there's certain things Sansa... Like, Bran has all knowledge. If Bran gets to Winterfell, she has dirt on Littlefinger, if she trusts her brother.
Yeah.
Which means that we may see tables flip and see her undermine Littlefinger this time.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you, because maybe you would know more than anyone. What the fuck caused such animosity between Jon and Littlefinger? Yeah, he's a creep, but at the same time, Littlefinger was right. He would think that he would be thankful for his present. Yeah, he's a slimy dude, but why would he get so mad?
Yeah.
Or is Jon such no bullshit that as soon as bullshit starts emanating from Littlefinger, who's king bullshit, that he just doesn't have time for it?
I feel like he's no bullshit. I love that scene because Jon strangling Littlefinger is very reminiscent of Ned Stark strangling Littlefinger in season 1.
Yeah.
And it just shows how much like Jon, or how much like Jon is like Ned, yeah.
No, for sure, but that's what I'm trying to say. Like, what has Littlefinger done? We know as the audience, but like...
It's his sliminess, and I think he knows he doesn't trust him because, you know, Jon and Sansa really love each other, and Littlefinger was the one who gave her to the Boltons. He's the one who, you know,
he put
Sansa through that mess, and he gambled away his sister. Like, he used his sister as a chip to get him where he wanted to be, to ally himself with the North.
That's true.
And then with that, he comes and says, well, you're here because of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though he was helping the enemy. He was helping the enemy at the same time. And he's not even supposed to be down there.
It's
and Ned's trying to have a moment with his father, and he comes down there being like, hey, you should be thankful to me.
Peter Baelish.
Like, honestly, like, fuck you, man.
I'm Peter Baelish.
Yeah, so...
Guarantee he blew out those candles and fucking brought Ned's statue.
On his way out, he's just
blowing out
the
you
candle,
motherfucker.
Kicking Ned Stark's tomb.
Baelish for the win.
Yeah, like, who goes down there and be like, I brought your father's bones down here? like really, man?
Yeah.
What an ass.
No, I get it now. I wasn't thinking about that.
But moving on, Sam and Jorah, one of my favorite scenes between characters.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it. I loved seeing these characters together. I loved seeing Sam, like...
Well, you called this alliance, like this pair up for before the season even started.
It just made sense. Where are you going to go if you have grayscale? The place of knowledge.
Oh, it's just perfect. And he's like so beholden to help him because it's his dad, or his dad's son.
Yeah.
Like, It's so awesome.
I love it.
Like an awesome scene.
And yeah, so it's paying off with the Dragonglass in the book that says that it has healing properties. All the other maesters, or the primary maester, I don't even know if he has a proper name yet. Some are speculating he's Maester Marwyn. Some are calling him Ebros. That might be his TV show name.
Yeah.
But he's kind of dismissing him, but then he acknowledged him in one scene saying like, hey man, like the last person who did this.
Yeah.
The last person who did this ended up, you know, dying of grayscale.
Contracting it too, yeah.
But Sam is obviously like, oh, it won't be that bad. And then he goes in, tears that shit up.
Oh, it was awesome.
It rips it up. It was hard to watch. And I was thinking that he's going to tear it all off, and then you just glaze it in Dragonglass.
Like, just ground it up?
But he's got to eat it, and then maybe just wipe it on him. I don't know. Maybe he'll be good as new, but I hope we get more character scenes with them. And while Sam is picking at Jorah, they have a nice scene where they talk about Daenerys, how he, like, really supports her, and how Jon feels the same way about Jon.
Yeah.
And they just kind of connect the dots, and, you know, it goes forward.
Oh, we skipped something.
Oh.
Grey Worm.
Oh, yeah. Attaboy.
Yeah.
Attaboy. It was a good scene. It was, by the end of it, I thought I was watching porn with 7 people in the living room.
Yeah, that was awkward.
It got a little...
I was sitting right next to your dad.
It was... it was fine. It got really, like, porny. Like...
Yeah, it went there.
Good scene.
And remember to watch the scene again, where the cut. So there was some pretty funny cuts in this scene.
Yeah.
So there was later in the episode, there was a scene cut from the scab peeling to someone eating.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And the scene, if you watch the sex scene again, watch the cut.
What does it cut to?
It's the fucking Harry Potter Slughorn guy. He puts his hand in between 2 books. You have to see it. It's ridiculous.
That's awesome. That's so funny.
That's
But the scene before
Unabashed.
that, when Grey Worm's talking to Missandei about how he never feared anything and whatever, I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah.
Perfect character development to set up a death.
Yeah, it's true.
I think. Yeah, if you're going to give Grey Worm that kind of emotional convo with Missandei, he's not coming back from this trip. I think he's going to make it through to Highgarden, and then I think he's toast. Either Bronn or Jaime's going to kill him.
Yeah.
And you know why I think that works out so perfectly? Is Daenerys is trying to be very conservative. She doesn't want to burn people alive. She doesn't want to rule ashes, right?
Yeah.
Well, what would break her out of her shell more than watching Grey Worm die?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if all her plans are going to blow up in her face.
I think as soon as Grey Worm dies, she's going to get fucking angry, and she's going to burn everything.
That's what I mean. It's almost like that's the tactic that you have to use
piss her off
in Westeros.
Yeah. But, yeah, Arya, really quick, she talks to Hot Pie. The conversation to me was weird. Arya was being kind of an ass.
Yeah. She's
Dismissive, I guess. I don't know. She's been through a lot.
She's just anxious. No, because she was listening to those dudes. So that I didn't hear because there was something happening in the room, I guess. Someone was talking, so I missed. I guess she was spying on some people that were going to where
They're
she
talking
was
about
going.
Winterfell. They think they were talking about North or something.
No, they were talking about that was the whole thing. So she was listening in on the conversation of people that were getting weapons or something to go to King's Landing.
Mm-hmm.
So she was going to follow up that lead when she talked to Hot Pie.
Right.
Found out the situation, called it,
Which was awesome.
and that was the fork in the road that she had laid down in front of her. So that's why she said, "Oh, I could follow these people, or I could go north," and she chose north. Literally, like it's almost like Red Dead Redemption. I don't know if you play that game when you go past a certain point and there's just snow on the ground. If you watch that scene, there's like no snow, and then she walked into the snow.
Yeah, but yeah, Hot Pie. As soon as he told her about the Battle of the Bastards and Jon, she totally changed from this girl who like wanted vengeance to like, oh my god, like she got like really emotional. She left, runs into a wolf. Holy shit, she's surrounded.
Yeah, crazy.
Nymeria comes in. She's huge.
Yeah, she's like a horse.
She's huge. So
like bigger than Ghost.
She's huge.
Last time
we haven't seen Ghost, which is so annoying. Like, show us Ghost for Christ's sake. Like, honestly, it's so frustrating.
Yeah, it's not like they don't have the budget.
We need to see Ghost, but I was impressed. Nymeria was huge.
Oh fuck!
It was
amazing.
awesome. A lot of close-up shots because they don't want to expand or like make her bigger. It saves money.
So what did you take away from that scene?
I took away that the introduction. That's the introduction.
Yeah, like she'll be back. But I'm thinking, like, she had to do that because of, like, she's got her own little kingdom, right?
Yeah.
She can't show like weakness.
Yeah, you know, yeah, it's like alpha kind of a thing.
Yeah, she had to be, well, even though she called them off, but it was still like, you can't show, I don't know, like,
that's funny, yeah. Wolves,
you can't bow down and like,
totally
oh yeah, I'm
right.
going with these guys.
No,
they would chew her.
that's something that they most definitely would do, because wolves are pack animals.
Yeah.
She can't show weakness. It wouldn't surprise me if she comes back alone
That's
and maybe
what I think.
show some affection.
That's what I was getting at. She's coming back to her by herself.
Let's go out crazy. Next episode, Nymeria's coming back for a little petting.
I almost feel like we won't see her next episode. I'll feel like Arya is going to sense her being with her. Like she's too scared to approach, so she's with her.
And she knows that she's following her.
Yeah.
Nymeria is going to be in season 8. I think that's hands down. Whether this is the last time we see her, which I doubt, until season 8, or we see her a couple more times until season 8. Regardless, we're going to see her season 8.
Just like she'll crack a smile knowing that she's in the woods following her.
Yeah, so that's awesome. But then there's the last scene of the show, and it's a ship battle.
Shit battle or ship battle?
Maybe a bit of both. How did you feel about this? To me, I just didn't know what the fuck was happening.
Well, I knew it was coming when the snakes were like complaining. I was like, they're dead. Like I just knew it. They almost set it up, almost. Yeah. Like everyone's just relaxing, and then that weird sex scene, like so awkward for Theon.
Theon's their bitch.
Yeah, and like he can't escape that role.
Poor guy.
But fuck him. I don't know. I hate him. Like I could be so done with him. They don't even need him. But he's got to have a redemption moment at some point.
Well, like you've hated on him more than anyone, and he's the only one left. So he's gonna end up ruling the Ironborn. So Euron comes in. He gets shot with like I don't know what happened, but he was getting like hit with like these spikes, like grappling hooks. It seemed like.
So okay, one has a whip, one has a dagger, one has a spear, right?
Yeah.
So I thought he got hit with a spear, and maybe he did. It was hard to see, to be honest with you. But again, black ships, nighttime, everyone wearing black.
It seemed like he took a beating. Like I'm surprised how happy
he
was.
Come out unscathed.
I'm surprised how happy he was in episode 3 because it looked like he got his ass kind of kicked. Like he is a hard ass, but he got hit by like 10 different things.
He's just a crazy pirate, man.
It was insane. And then Theon has his moment. Oh, do I save my sister Yara? Nope, I'm just gonna jump off in the water. So he's floating on a piece of driftwood.
Yeah.
And he sees the sand snakes being hung.
He's literally pulling a what's her name from Titanic. Fuck. Like I don't know, man. Like,
the sad thing.
I get it though because in that situation he knew he was gonna die. I don't think he was
I know.
I don't want to die. It was like I'm gonna die. I'm not gonna be any help.
Yeah.
So
but
I'm gonna try and live another day and fix this situation.
Most importantly, though, what I liked about the scene is that he kind of got flashes back to him and Ramsay. He saw like blood and people bleeding and like all this torture, and he started getting the shakes again, and he started getting kind of scared. So then he jumped away. Funny thing is this Theon that you love so much, he's the one Ironborn that's actually paid the iron price.
Yeah, that's true.
He's paid pretty much everything. Yeah, and now he's floating in the sea. He's probably gonna drown and be reborn, and he's literally gonna be.
Yeah, that could be the next scene.
He's gonna try and be king of the Iron Islands, and like obviously no one's gonna respect him, but he's gonna try, and he's the one character who's paid the iron price. So I think it'll be interesting to see where that goes.
Yeah. He must have the most medieval form of PTSD. For real.
Yeah.
Like he's been through a lot, but still, that's what I mean. Like a lot of the stuff that he went through was because of his arrogance and because of his stupidness. So he had it coming in a lot of the cases. It went over the top with Ramsay, but he was a piece of shit. He was a piece of shit before Ramsay was a piece of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
So I don't know. I can't feel too sorry for him. Okay.
Do you have anything else to say?
Ah, man, I just really like this episode. You know when like an episode you get like not full, but the last episode left me wanting more, and this is just like it's back. Like I can't wait to watch the next one. But this one left me feeling satisfied.
Then wait till 3, because episode 3 I think is gonna be a doozy.
Yeah.
And these episodes they move.
I think they're
fast.
all gonna be doozies now.
Yeah, and they move fast. Like these episodes don't. No bullshit.
No, that's what I mean. Like
they discuss their battles, and then their ships are sailing. Grey Worm's about to leave. He has sex. Next time, we're probably gonna see him in the Casterly Rock.
Yeah.
So
looking at that hole in the cliff.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the plumbing. I'm telling you. Tyrion talked about Cash of the Rock, how we used to handle the plumbing. That's where they're going to strike. Go through the plumbing, go into the castle, open the doors for the other Unsullied, and they're going to take it over in no time.
Or obligatory Harry Potter reference. That's where the Horcrux is hidden. It almost looks like the same fucking place they shot it.
That's true, I know. But, yeah, I guess that's it for our reaction. We're going to be coming out with a breakdown video soon, breaking down every piece of the episode for you guys.
Yeah, I might actually watch this one again.
Oh, sweet.
Oh.
That's awesome. But until I'm gonna really have to analyze that ship battle scene again. But until next time, we'll see you guys later.
See ya.